Each year in May, tomato farmers harvest the land as they have done for generations. However, all is not well in tomato country. The last harvest was poor, and then globalization hit farmers like John Huago. His tomatoes don't make any money, and the revenue barely covers the costs.
Since they introduced the importing of foreign tin tomatoes into the country, farming work has fallen down.
Tomatoes from Europe are very cheaply priced. The high-tech, highly subsidised European agriculture companies have a clear advantage. Tomato paste from Italy is only 15 cents per can. For quick cooking, it is the easiest choice, even for many Africans. The problem is that our local farmers simply do not know how to can or bottle produce. If they could adapt and can tomatoes on the market, we would also be able to sell domestically. John would like to process his own tomatoes, so then he would have fewer problems. But there are barely any profitable factories where he can process them.
The Europeans can establish tin tomato factories in the country so that they feed the factory with our local product. Even though if our variety is not good for them, they can bring the variety that will suit the factory. We produce it for them.
But the Europeans want to get rid of their surplus at any price. In the past 10 years, the EU has spent 3.7 billion euros on export subsidies. So is it worth Africa selling poultry parts to Europe, which no one likes to eat at the wholesale price of 60 cents per kilo?
That's what the customers buy. The Ghanaian people, we like this chicken. And, you know, this bag is affordable price. We have it. So if you can't buy this Thai, the chicken bag is affordable price you can buy.
And where does it come from?
It's also come from Holland.
The local farmers can't keep up with this predatory pricing. So is it then necessary that Ghana's farmers protected through import tariffs? The EU alone is pushing for free trade.
Ghana domestic producers cannot match up to European countries. So if you are talking about the impact, you're talking about the complete collapse of the domestic industry. Okay, complete collapse. Because one, we haven't yet built our own capacity. In terms of industries, we don't have the infrastructure. You know, we cannot efficiently and even produce quality, products that can be very competitive.
90% of the chicken breeders feel the full brunt of free trade and do not survive. This poultry farm still exists because it is converted to egg production. The chairman of the Poultry Association, Kenneth Corty, recognised early that he had no chance against the European competition.
Free trade in the manner in which it is being practiced by the powers now is to blame for this, and I think it's an unjust situation. You cannot have a situation where $360 billion subsidizes agriculture in one part of the world and then say to the other part of the world, go out there and compete with the other half if they cannot have access to those kind of funds.
Poultry breeder Alex Yeboah has just saved his business. When his chickens were no longer wanted because of the influx of frozen parts from Europe, he sought new customers. Today he sells only to demanding clients, such as top quality restaurants.
We are buying because they like the taste of the local birds that we are producing here. Because the frozen white, sometimes is 1 year old and then they will bring it. But this one you just carry it today, you send it to supermarket or the restaurant, and then they like the taste. So now they are buying it.
In city markets, dealers are desperate. There have hardly been any customers. Ghanaians have noticed how easy it is to have ready packaged chicken wings from the freezer, and they no longer want whole animals. Previously, the women came and said, "Hey, I have a festival. I need 50 chickens." Some came and even wanted to buy 100 chickens. Today, that's no more. These people buy the same parts in the box. This is, of course, easier for them. But when the meat is in the heat too long, then it starts to spoil and is no longer healthy. The African growers are trying to keep up with the times. Their plan? To provide food frozen in boxes, just as the Europeans have been doing. Quality or not, in the end, what counts is what people buy, and the customers want it to be cheap more than anything else.
And they are white. So now we are planning to maybe take the parts, the legs, the wings, and then all these things, so that we can sell it. You see, that one too is a problem. Maybe the person needs the wings, and we are selling the whole chicken. Maybe we can get market.
Back to the family of tomato farmer John Huago. He also needs to adapt. He wants to work on the cultivation of watermelons and onions in the coming future, but they produce much less. The younger generation is moving away from agriculture. Only a few are interested in it now, because the business is simply not worth it.
My children, most of them are ladies, so I would like them to change their future from them, so that they also work in different departments, not in farming.
The oldest daughter wants to be a nurse in the city, as the tomato business has long since closed.
One thing, my father is a farmer, so I don't want to be a farmer. First, there is money in farming, but nowadays there is no money in it. And the reason why there is no money in it, the people that come here to buy the tomatoes, they'll come with their boxes and buy the thing anyhow they like.
It is quite absurd. Just because Europe has too much food, the agriculture in Africa is left broken. John, the most successful tomato farmer in the entire district, has been swept away by the wave of free trade. He tells us, in the end, it is clear who wins at this game. Of course it's the Europeans. It always has been.